right, welcome back to another episode, an emergency pod of the Ricky Henderson podcast, the greatest of all podcasts. The GOAP don't know how much longer this thing's going to be around anymore after today's news. It is Wednesday, April 19th, essentially the end of the Oakland A's as we know it. I'm Alex Espinoza. This is Hal Gordon. Hal, how you doing, bud?
I've been in the East Coast for the last 2 weeks helping my sister take care of her newborn. So if you start hearing crying in the background, that's not that's I got the baby on baby cam over here. But yeah, it's I said it's Thursday for me. It's 1:41 in the morning. So we're doing an emergency pod in the middle of the night here.
Happy 420, Hal. Great way to celebrate the holidays. Yeah. Okay, so the big news just broke at about I don't know, maybe a couple hours ago, around 9 o'clock at night.
I think it was less than an hour ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the Nevada Independent has reported that Nevada lawmakers and the A's have a $1 billion stadium deal in place. And literally at 10:30, about 10 minutes ago, Casey Pratt shared a statement from the Oakland A's. And here is the full statement from the A's. I will read it. The A's have signed a binding agreement to purchase land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. We realize this is a difficult day for our Oakland fans and community. For more than 20 years, the A's have focused on securing a new home for the club and have invested unprecedented time and resources for the past 6 years to build a ballpark in Oakland. Even with support from fans, leaders at the city, county, and state level, and throughout the broader community, the process to build a new ballpark in Oakland has made little forward progress for some time. We have made a strong and sincere effort to stay here. We recognize that this is very hard to hear. We are disappointed that we have been unable to achieve our shared vision of a waterfront ballpark. As we shift our focus to Las Vegas, we will continue to share details about our next steps. So that's it, folks. Baseball in Oakland is done. It's been a 55-year run, but they came here in 1968, and that's it. Hal, I know you've just been, kind of part of this community for about the past, 10 years or 7-8 years or so, but, did that surprise you? How did that affect you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's not a shock.
Yeah.
I think this, I think all A's fans have thought about how they'd feel, what they'd feel when we got this, when or if we got this news. I think, when I think about when the pivot point was, I think it was last early September. So when there was a meeting, I think an Oakland City Council meeting, maybe the last real meeting that was important, it seemed like, where the city manager, said, well, we only have like a week or two left to get something done before the end of the year, and we're still hundreds of millions of dollars behind. And you felt like, I think I remember right after hearing that, walking up to because in vending I can see Cavill in his box, and I walked up to Cavill and I said, what's going on? And he was like, the election, everyone got cold feet, blah blah blah, which I don't know, it doesn't seem like that was a real excuse, but I think that was the pivot point. And at this point, man, I feel like I'm losing a member of my family.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I mean, I had I think we've all made friends at the Coliseum if you go there enough. You make friends there with people that you normally wouldn't make friends with, in any other way. And it's, those friendships don't have to end, but it just sucks, man. You'll never be able to bring your kid to see a game in Oakland. Just
Yeah, man. I mean,
just
yeah,
great.
I grew up here. I mean, I was born and raised. I was raised in Alameda till I was about 6, and then I moved to Moraga. So I've been in the East Bay virtually my whole life, except for college. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Is just like honestly, some of my core memories are from A's games. And my brother, he's 2 years older than me, so I was doing everything he was doing. He liked the A's, and I remember the first time ever really getting excited was going to A's games. We would drive underneath
Yeah,
the 880
yeah,
freeway,
yeah,
and I was a little kid, so I didn't know what was going on. But anytime we drove underneath the 880 freeway, we drove past all these police cars. I knew we were going to the A's game. I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
sweet!" I was like a dog or something. It was like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay, it's sweet." And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, sweet!" Like I perked up. I was like, "Oh, this means we're going to the A's game." And I remember sitting up on the third deck with my dad and my brother in the 90s listening to Roy Steele. They had the orange seats. Roy Steele rolling his R's, Geronimo, Broa. And
yeah,
it's just like a fun time, man. It's just like, damn, they really just pulled the rug out over the past 3 or 4 years. Like, 2018, they were still making good faith efforts.
yeah,
2019, it started to fall apart. And then it was like almost like the pandemic was a perfect excuse for them to be like, oh, you know what? Attendance is
yeah,
down. I think I wrote about this a couple of years ago. It was almost like they were trying to create an untenable situation in Oakland, so it would be easier for them to leave. And I think that happened. And then I think with this whole mayor change, with Shang Tao coming in this year, it was just like a perfect confluence for them to just throw up their hands and be like, "Yo, we had momentum, but now it stops." I also do want to share the comments from Mayor Sheng Tao.
yeah,
The,
yeah. I
the,
read those.
this is via Sarah Ravani from San Francisco Chronicle. So this is just, I mean, this is official, people. This is done. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I know it's
done.
done. I think it's
It's
done. Yeah.
really done. But yeah, here's the full statement from the Oakland mayor. She said, "I am deeply disappointed that the A's have chosen not to negotiate with the city of Oakland as a true partner in a way that respects the long-term relationship between the fans, the city, and the team. The city has gone beyond and above and beyond in our attempts to arrive at a mutually beneficial terms to keep the A's in Oakland. In the last 3 months, we've made significant strides to close the deal. Yet it is clear to me that the A's have no intention of staying in Oakland and have simply been using this process to try and extract a better deal out of Las Vegas. I am not interested in continuing to play that game. The fans and our residents deserve better. I am incredibly proud of what we have accomplished as a city, including securing a fully entitled site and over $375 million in new infrastructure and investment that will benefit Oakland and its port for generations to come. In a time of budget deficits, I refuse to compromise the safety and well-being of our residents. Given these realities, we are ceasing negotiations and moving forward on alternatives for the redevelopment of Howard Terminal." So that's it. It's
Yeah, that's it.
no more Howard Terminal. The A's lease runs out, I believe, next season. So this next year and a half is going to be awkward as hell.
I
While
don't
they're
know.
is
I
that reverse lockout thing even going to happen anymore on June
Oh yeah,
13th?
I mean,
Like, I mean,
I
the
think
reverse
we're excited.
boycott.
We were gonna talk to Stu tomorrow. I think I was getting so excited about just having fun at that reverse lockout,
Yeah, that reverse boycott was picking up momentum. I saw the New
reverse
York Times. Even
boycott.
my dad today, he's like, "Hey, I just saw this article in the New York Times about this reverse
Yeah.
boycott. Have you heard about it?" And I'm like,
Uh,
"Oh, wow." So
I
I
mean,
wonder,
we'll see.
yeah.
I mean, it's still 2 months away, but
It's just like, dude, who's gonna go to these games? Like, they thought attendance was bad. Like, who's like
oh,
people?
I mean, I, I don't think they care. I mean, I obviously don't care. I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing if they don't buy out the minor league team and they start playing there
Just at
in
Las
that
Vegas
stadium
ballpark. They
next
just,
year.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is their last year. I don't know how that works. I don't know like about their lease, but I mean if I was they'll they could start selling out that Las Vegas ballpark next year. I just pay whatever I have to pay to get out of the lease and just move there. I think this will be the last year that the A's will be here.
It's
Um,
crazy, man. It happened like I knew this was a possibility, but now that
yeah.
it's happening, it almost seems sudden, which I guess it shouldn't, but it does, you
No,
know?
it does, man.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be a grieving period. You know, I think it's like a family member dying, I think, and it will be like that for a lot of people. If you're listening to this and you're feeling, weirdly emotional, I hear you, I get it, man. Like it, you know, it's it's not as emotional, it's not as sudden, it's not as horrible, but when I was sitting here waiting to get on the call with you, I was just thinking, the last time I felt something like this, I think, is when I heard that Jimmy died, my other vendor friend, my co-vendor. And I think it's you know I know how important the relationships, and the friendships and the experience is to A's fans, because I've seen them over the last 6 years, 7 years vending there. I've seen them day in and day out. And if you're out there listening to this and you're feeling that, man, it makes sense. It's real. It sucks.
Yeah, and I really want A's fans. I know this is like an emotional time, but if you have your thoughts, I would love to kind of compile a voicemail. So we have a phone number at 707-800-9896. That's 707-800-9896. Leave us a voicemail. I
Yeah,
really want to hear from you, because this is really about the fans. I mean, this biggest, like, yeah, that business is going to happen. The A's are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to try to find the dollar, but this affects tens or hundreds of thousands of A's fans who have been rooting for this whole franchise their entire life. I mean, if you were born anytime after the '70s, the A's have been part of the East Bay culture for these past 55 years. So we really want to hear from you guys, but I just feel like, honestly, the A's have been trying to pair off. They've been trying to whittle down their fan base so this wouldn't be so painful. I know a lot of people who have already they stopped caring about the A's a couple of years ago. So
my
it's
theory,
it still sucks. I mean, it doesn't
I
make it any
think I
better.
know that the theory, the sort of the major league theory, right? The movie where the owner of the Cleveland Indians trying to, like, have as little tennis as possible. I, I don't think my theory is, I don't think there was a conscious effort to do that, but I think that they made they made some decisions that didn't pay off. I think that when they did A's Access, they wanted it to be more successful than it was. It was successful, but it wasn't. I think they were hoping to, you know, have, just if they sold tickets cheap enough that they'd have like sellouts and shit, and that just didn't happen. And I think that they just decided to, after COVID, they just decided to go in the opposite direction. From what I
Just
heard,
cost cutting, just like running like a real like a
what I
business.
heard, I remember the day in 2020, it was in 2020 when they announced that the 2021 tickets were just gonna, that they weren't going to be bringing back access. I remember talking to somebody in the A's ticket office, and before the game, because I was just standing around and I was like, what's going on? Like, what are you guys doing? And he just said, listen, this was the decision of one man. One man made this decision. So I don't know if that was Cavill. I don't know if it was Fisher.
It was Fisher, dude, for sure.
I think
Fisher,
it was probably Fisher.
100% Fisher. Yeah.
He decided to make that decision, and it just, I think the fact that attendance crashed so hard, you know, I don't think they were
Yeah, but it's
anticipating
their
that.
doing. It was
It
their
was their doing. It was their doing.
Yeah, I
Absolutely
mean,
their
what do they
doing.
expect, man? You
But,
double
like, at
ticket
that point, it
prices
just made it
during a
easier for them to
pandemic.
make the decision. Yeah. That just fucking blows, man. I think that there's blame to go around too. I, I think I would. There's
What do you
blame
think
to go
about?
around. I'm of two minds of Oakland politicians in California. I think California state law that makes it development so
Yeah.
difficult is to blame, right? Like the fact that it took them, if it wasn't
But
for shit like seeing,
my counter argument to that though is look at Joe Lacob and how quickly they
sure,
pushed
yeah,
Chase
yeah, yeah,
Center.
yeah,
Like it's
absolutely,
possible. It's possible.
absolutely,
It's
it's
possible.
absolutely possible. It's
It's possible.
absolutely possible. It's 100% possible. But if California law had been easier, they may have even gotten this done before COVID, and that would have saved them all this money or whatever. And but in another sense, I have to applaud California politicians, for stepping up and saying like, hey, so I think Las Vegas is going to be giving them essentially a $500 million in taxpayer money. Now they're going to say that this is, purely but for money, like we were talking about with Howard Terminal, and we'll have to take a look at that. I don't even know if I'll have the desire to actually look at it, but they're definitely going to be giving them a lot of money. And the original plan that the A's wanted was like this was all this property taxes around the stadium, and the politicians said no, that's not but for money, so they've stood up to him. But also the way that California politics and California government is structured, it's just really hard to do new developments.
Yeah.
And you know what, if Chang Tao can turn around and find a new development for Howard Terminal that doesn't have the A's but has like even more housing and stuff, then more power to her. It won't have all the expense of trying to get people into a baseball stadium, but I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, it the A's are fucking cheap, man. They're cheap. They're cheap bastards. They suck. Um, and
Yeah. I mean,
it's not like the Raiders, where the Raiders, like the Oakland basically told the Raiders, we got nothing to offer you.
yeah.
And I respect that move too, because football stadiums are idiotic to build. They're billions of dollars and they're used 16 or like 8 times a year. That's
Yeah.
insane. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but like there was a plan here, man. There was a plan. I don't really know what was happening. Shang Tao definitely did not seem to be nearly as plugged in as Libby Schaff. And I think it is what it is, but like there was still a plan. And MLB, they just said, hey, sure, there's a plan, but it would cost you an extra $200 million, extra $300 million. We're not gonna let you have to suffer through that, sir. You can go ahead and leave.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
yeah. So do you believe in Shang Tao's statement when she says that the A's were not negotiating in good faith the past? I mean, she said she tried to paint it like, yo, we tried the past 3 months with my administration, but the A's weren't negotiating in good faith. At this point, is that just posturing, or do you feel like there actually is? I mean, I think there is blame to go around on both sides, honestly.
It's blame to go around on both sides.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like we know what the problem was. The problem was they didn't have enough money to pay for the offsite infrastructure.
Yeah.
And you can look at this in a couple ways, right? Like, offsite infrastructure, that's like city roads, man. Who should pay for city roads? Cities. Who should pay for these? But like also, if I'm an Oakland politician, only a small fraction of A's fans live in Oakland, like, we're gonna be building this shit for people from Walnut Creek and Fremont to come here. They should, there's I think there's just a lot of ways that that this was not built to be, built so that the government had good incentives to pay for it. But yeah, I mean, they're gone. They're gone, man. It sucks.
What so yeah, what do you think the rest of the season looks like? I mean, what do you like? I think they're on the road for the next week, but then
Yeah.
I'm gonna see when the next A's home game is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird. It's like they're not even a baseball team anymore. It's like they're just it's like
I
yeah,
wish
Mason Miller made his MLB debut today, but nobody cares. Like
nobody
nobody, like
cares.
he's like
Nobody
one of the most
cares.
exciting pitchers in baseball. But like nobody cares. Okay, so they have an off day, then they're going on the road. They got three in Texas, and they got 4 in LA. They'll be back on April 28th against the Cincinnati Reds. Ooh, that'll be a barn burner. I mean, dude, it's just like
I mean, like the
it's just
question
so it's
is
over,
there, are there
man.
going to
It's
be
like
people, you know, I mean,
yeah.
it's like, you know, I think a couple people on Twitter were like, well, let's just, you know, like, let's just stand in front of the gates. Like, let's let nobody in. And it's like, maybe you know, if 50 people were like, well, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go
Yeah.
chain myself to the gates and not let me in. Sure, I'd go.
Yeah.
But like, but also it's just like,
Yeah. I mean, I think if
cares,
I
man,
was
you
a
know,
fan, I would
it's
just
like at some point it's like, you know, your girlfriend dumped you, you know, like
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like if I'm a Bay Area sports fan, it's like, okay, well, if this is the last time I could see the A's in my lifetime in Oakland, I want to go there, but also I don't want to give John Fisher money. So it's like this weird. That's what I even thought about was weird about the reverse boycott is like, yeah, you're gonna prove a point maybe, but you're also just giving like a 10-day like a big ticket gate to John Fisher. So
whatever. Yeah,
ultimately,
I
he
mean,
wins, right?
sure,
Like it's
sure,
like
yeah.
he holds all the power. It's like
It's not fair, and it's not how it should be, you know.
yeah.
It's not how it is in Europe. You don't see teams moving. Um, it shouldn't be the way it is, you
Especially a
know.
team with 55 years of history in one place, 4 championships. Like, there's a
Yeah,
lot of good. It'd be one thing if they were like the Tampa Bay Rays, who had never won a title, whatever. They were here for 20, 30 years, and they got to leave, whatever. But I mean, it's like, dude, these are like iconic teams in MLB history, and
it shouldn't be the way
just
that it
gone,
is,
man.
and it's, you know, and it is it's a civic, it's a civic institution, you know, because it's where, man, it's where people go and chant, "Let's go Oakland." Just fucking sucks, you
Yeah,
know. We got the roots still. I mean,
dude,
now
I'm
I
not
just
gonna.
hope the fucking, what if I just wish the San Jose earthquake would move to Vegas and then they could put the roots in MLS.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it kind of killed like I just don't know. Like the A's have just been it's just a fixture of my summer. Is I just watch the A's. That's just what I've been doing as a kid. And now I just maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I could get a lot more time back in my life. I don't know. But it still sucks, man. It's like I just
no,
feel
it's
like
not a
something
good
got stolen
thing.
from me. I really just feel like something was stolen from me.
Yeah, it
And
was. It
you
was.
know,
Alex, I'm here to tell you something just was stolen from you.
yeah, John Fisher
No,
just
John
he
Fisher stole that from you.
and he
Yeah,
just has no emotion. He just doesn't care. And
I don't care.
he doesn't care. I mean, so it's like, what am I gonna do? Like angry man yells at cloud. It's like, it's like you're
Guy
powerless. It's
doesn't
like
care. You know what?
we're a little man.
Fucking,
We're powerless.
it
I
fucking
mean,
sucks. Guy doesn't care. You know, the
yeah,
world's not fair. This guy, you know, it's not like John
yeah,
Fisher. John Fisher fucking inherited his money from his parents, and you know, and so he's got to protect it in his stupid investment of a baseball team, dude. If you just wanted to invest in a baseball, like it's just like if
like
you want to
I
make
wish you,
an
I wish you
investment
picked
to
it.
make
I wish you
money,
picked it. Yeah,
just like go, you know, become a, just do anything fucking
real
else.
estate. Yeah, pick any other
Pick
business.
real estate. Invest in fucking Bitcoin, you cunt. Like it's just like,
Yeah, it just sucks that he has to drag down so many other people for his own self-interest, and he
yeah,
just doesn't
man,
care,
cool.
And he's in his ivory tower. We're never gonna hear from the guy.
No, we'll
There's
never
just
hear from that guy again. He'll never. I don't
there's
think
no
he'll go to the
accountability.
Coliseum again. He'll
Yeah,
never be there again. You
yeah,
know,
there's
he'll
no
never be at the Coliseum
accountability.
again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't even know if Dave Cavill will be at the Coliseum again, but I mean,
And also, dude, imagine being the players, like you know, like I like imagine like what are you how are you supposed to suit up every day when that's like,
I
dude,
mean,
this is
what a
gonna be just
terrible
basically
position
a
the
sham.
players are in.
I mean,
Because
we're
like, yeah, because like the just people are just, I mean, if anyone is at that Reds game, and you know, we'll see. I think people will start thinking about what we want to do. I
the
you
timing
know,
is weird. We're only
I
19
hope
games into the season.
you know, we didn't talk about it at all, very much at all, but I hope that reverse boycott you know, I would still love to have like one game where we all just pack the stadium and just chant, fuck Cavill or something for like 3 minutes,
Well, dude,
man.
I wonder. Imagine like I mean, we're only that the timing of this is weird too. I mean, obviously they have to move at the speed of business, but it's 19 games into the season. There's still 5.5 months left for sure. It's just gonna be like a sham of a season. They're 3-6
Well,
games.
yeah, I think
They have the
I
worst
think
record in baseball. Like
I
it's
mean
like
they have an abysmal record, and not only do they have a bad record, but they have a terrible run differential. They got
they're just bad at
fucking
everything. They're
they already got like they got
historically bad pitching. Like historic, like 1901 bad pitching. Like,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Poor fucking Trevor May, man. He's gone to DL because of anxiety.
why would he even come back? I was like, why would you even come? Like, I don't know.
Well, he's
Well,
I
I guess
mean, he's
if you
trying
get
to
paid
make 10
$6.5
years. If he
million
makes
dollars,
10 years, he gets like a big pension. So
yeah.
he's
And
he's got maybe more reason to come back than anyone. But I mean,
it's just weird how
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
baseball is secondary now. Like it just doesn't even. It's just like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm probably gonna move to Mexico now. I don't know. I literally don't know. Well, Hal, I'm glad you got your few years in while it was still good, Hal.
Yeah,
'Cause,
dude. I mean,
like, what do you think about your
listen,
experience?
listen. I do want to like, if I think we'll be processing this more, but like, I do want to like end, if we're ending, this emergency pod here. I do want to end this in like first of all, the Oakland fan community is not completely disappearing. Go to Oakland Roots games, guys. It's fun. There's a lot of people who are from Ace games or at Oakland Roots games. I know it's not baseball. I know a lot of you people, a lot of people don't, like it's different. It is different, but like if you're looking for that community, that's a great option. And those guys ain't gonna go nowhere. Those guys ain't gonna go nowhere. And in second, like I will, you know, take all the fun memories you had as an Oakland A's fan, and those aren't John Fisher's. Those are yours. Alex, like those memories of you
This is like
going
the
to
Goonies.
the
This is
game.
like the scene from the Goonies where we're in the well, and they're like, "No, these
Yeah,
are my
man.
memories."
But yeah, I mean, take
Yeah.
those memories and like cherish them, man, because
Well,
those are
that's why
yours.
I almost feel like this could almost turn into a celebration of Oakland baseball the rest of the season. I mean, I think initially it's going to be pretty raw, but hopefully by the end of the year, people will just kind of turn this into a cell. It's like, dude, it's over. You can't change the situation, so make the best of it. Let's fucking
And,
tailgate. Let's fucking
and
smoke some
next time
doobies
you
in
go
the
to the
third deck. Let's get
yeah,
some
next time you go to the
blowjobs in the third
Coliseum,
deck. Let's have some fun,
yeah, next time you go to the Coliseum, take a look at what you think you can steal. And get your eye in that. And next
Just start
time
slowly
bring
dismantling the
some power
Coliseum.
tools and rip some shit out. And the last game of the season, maybe we'll rip out some chairs and throw them on the field or some shit.
Dude, that A's fans should rush the field after the last game. You should start taking selfies, like,
Or just like bring a
like,
pair
what
of
are
your
you gonna do?
scissors.
What are
Bring
you
a
gonna
pair
do?
of
Boot me out for the
scissors,
next game?
cut down some of the netting, in the first row.
Try to steal a pigeon. Try to steal a seagull from the third
I've
deck.
always, I've always thought that the sign outside of 149 that says bleachers. I've always thought, I think I could rip that off the wall.
Or hey, you could pull a tarp down. Get the tarp and use it for your car later. Get a
Yeah,
tarp
and
down from the third
if
deck.
there's a special lady in your life, get up there into the 300 levels and get a sloppy toppy.
Get a little blowy for the road.
I don't think they ever announced that they caught those fuckers.
Did they or no?
I
They're
don't think
still on
so.
the
I don't
lam.
remember
They're on the
ever hearing about it.
lam.
And who cares, man? Who cares?
I think
You know what? I would take it if I got a blowjob and they charged me. I would take it to a fucking trial, and I would look at that jury, and I would say,
what
what?
would you do in my
What would
situation?
you do? You know who got fucked? Not me. The city of Oakland.
The A's fans did. This is
We
a
all got
metaphor. This is
I'm
art.
Spartacus. Jury
Oh,
nullification. If I'm on a jury, fuck that, you know?
yeah, I think it's gonna be a roller coaster. I think it's gonna be rage initially. Like this next homestand is gonna be very interesting to see the next home game. I think we should go there, dude. We should do some boots on the ground reporting for that next game. And then dude, we gotta see what the vibe is, man. We gotta
We'll
this
see.
is
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
see what it
historic.
is.
This is like the
Yeah, we'll
like
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see, like, we'll see what fans want to do, like I think reverse boycott could turn into Day of Rage. Dude, whatever. I mean,
But that's the thing. They don't care. It's like they're just in this armored tank and they're just going along. They don't care,
they haven't cared for a long time. They
Yeah.
haven't cared for a long time. I think that they viewed their fan base as the enemies for quite a while. They don't think that the fans understand the situation they're in. In the situation they're in is that they work for assholes. I don't know, man. It's
All right,
2:15 in the morning here, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's wrap it up. But what do you close the thought? Like, I guess in summation, what do you want to say about this whole situation?
I want to say like, I want to say like that John Fisher doesn't fucking, own your fandom. He doesn't own your civic pride. He doesn't own your memories. And come to the Oakland Roots games. It's not Major League Baseball. It fucking sucks, but that's the fun part about it is going to a game with your kids, with your friends, with your family, with strangers from your city that don't become strangers anymore because you're rooting for it, and go to some Roots games. And and John Fisher, suck my dick.
I mean, yeah, I think my biggest thing is I just feel, first of all, I just feel really bad for A's fans, especially for the ones who have stayed very loyal through all of this, who have even through all these overtures, the people who are still hanging on. Like, I really feel like this sucks. There's nothing that can prepare you for this, really. But I think it's just how can you react to this? I'm just I was born an optimist. I've always been an optimist, and I just think this is an opportunity to celebrate what happened. I mean, it's over. I mean, you can't change it. So just celebrate what happened. Enjoy these tailgates. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy sitting out in the bleachers. Enjoy putting your feet up on those seats. Smokes as many joints as you can in the third deck. Like, enjoy it, man. It's like,
I think that's right. Yeah. I think a lot of people will say, I'm never gonna give John Fisher another dime, but like, you know what? Buy a $10 ticket and bring a Subway sandwich.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't have to like just buy a ticket to the fucking just
smuggle in your own beers.
Bring a burrito.
Your own beers in the backpack. Classic move. And
just put those beers inside the blanket in your backpack. It's fine.
So I just don't like, yes, John Fisher already killed this thing, but like, if you want to have fun at A's games, still go try to do it, because by next year you might not have that opportunity.
I think that's a great piece of advice.
So
I would say that
don't let John Fisher kill this. Like my biggest, even with doing this blog, I'm like, why am I doing this blog? Nobody cares. It's like, what? It's the Oakland A's. I just do it because I enjoy it, and I'm not gonna let John Fisher kill something that I enjoy. So if you like going to A's games, whatever, go enjoy it. John Fisher can get your $10, whatever. But all right, well, that's my advice to A's fans. Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have more.
Oh yeah, this is all we're gonna be talking about the rest of the year, man. This is gonna turn into a funeral of the Oakland A's.
If we're talking about it, it's Well, okay, thanks for.
Well, I picked a hell of a time to get sick and be in and out of the hospital, but I'm back, baby. Yeah.
Back.
All right, Hal. Well, thanks for staying up till 2 a.m. over there, dude. Hope the baby's still asleep.
Baby is still currently asleep, probably for another hour or two.
But yeah, maybe next week we'll give you a big hug in the Coliseum, man. So
yeah, dude. For those Reds games, let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks, Hal.
Love you, man.